What's going on, guys? So, the PlayStation Classic is terrible. I think most of us understand that. And we've kind of been looking to people in the homebrew scene and the hacking scene to kind of fix that for us. And we've been kind of following the hacking scene for the PlayStation Classic a bit. I was hoping we would get to the point where we could add our own games to it and just be able to just build up the library however we want. And that has, at this time, happened. In fact, you can add any game you want. Performance will vary. For example, I really wanted to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on here, but the performance is not great. So I added a different game that the performance seems to be better on, and I figured we'd play a little bit here and kind of talk about what's happened so far. So if you notice on the PlayStation Classic, it has USB ports on the front. And that's good for people who want to try to modify the system, as that's a standard input that we use for flash drives and external hard drives. And, well, that's how we're loading games on here. We're using flash drives. In fact, I'll actually leave a link to a video that I saw that did a very good job explaining how to move stuff over. Now, keep in mind, it's not at all where you would want it to be to make it very easy. There's a lot of copying and pasting. There's a lot of naming files a certain ways to get it to work, but it does work. So let's actually go around the carousel here and see if we can find the game that I added. Let's see. Where is the... Oh, that's right. I added Mega Man Legends because that should have been on here from the start. They tested it originally and because it was in the code and they didn't add it. So how about we jump in here and we see how Mega Man Legends runs on the PlayStation Classic, as I think most of us assume that it'll run well since they tested it, but you know, let's see what we have here. Mega Man Legends is actually a very good game, by the way. I don't know if it's aged super well, right? But it's still a classic that I think most of us want to be able to play. In fact, I really hope that if that Nintendo 64 classic does come out like next year or whatnot, I hope Mega Man 64 is on there, because that would at least kind of save, I guess, my disappointment for this system not having it. But most of us played it on the PlayStation because that's where it debuted. So, Mega Man Legends, press start. And, I mean, you can see right now it's running pretty well. Now, of course, we're at the menu screen, so let's actually get into the game, and we'll play a little bit of it to see. Now, I was also talking to the other guys on the Spawncast, Sean and Max, and they were talking about it too, and I think they're going to try to make some videos as well, checking out some of the games that they liked. But I told you guys I was a pretty big Mega Man Legends fan, so I wanted to try out Mega Man Legends. So here we go. Yeah, actually, the frame rate looks pretty good. Now, I picked this one because, of course, this was one that they said that they had tested because it was in their source code. So I'm actually pretty happy so far. Let's just play a little bit here. Let's see what we got, because this is what it should have been, right? This is like, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, this is what we should have had. Now, of course, Mega Man Legends plays a little odd because, of course, it was set up to work kind of tank control wise before the dual analog sticks and everything. Let me go through. So we're going to start wiping these guys out. R2 locks onto them. So they do try to at least make that a bit easier. So let's take this guy out. There we go. Yeah, I'm really happy. I do wish these were DualShocks. I would have even been fine to just do one DualShock, and then you got to buy the next one separately if it really was a cost thing. Just because, I mean, I'm playing this mostly by myself, so I really don't need that extra controller to that degree. I guess it's a good backup. But this is really cool. So the hacking scene has evolved past this even. We're to the point now where you can put multiple games on a flash drive and use that hidden menu. People have figured out how to make it so you can get into the hidden menu without a keyboard. I do see a door, which is awesome, but it's still not to that point of the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic. Now, no, I don't need the instructions. If you remember, we're to the point now where with that, you can use a menu pretty much, and you'll just add games and cover art and everything. Like, I had to upload the cover art and name it specifically. It has to be a certain size. There's a lot of stuff going on here that's not exactly user-friendly, especially if you're not used to working with ISO files or what, PBP files, I guess the other one. If you're not used to working with those, renaming stuff with extensions and make sure everything's there, you might not have a great time setting this up. It's not user-friendly yet, but we're not even, the system's been out for less than a week or so now, I think, right? It came out December 3rd, and we're already to this point. So it's not going to take, I think anyway, much longer. Platform. Try jumping up. You know, it would have been great to have either this one or the second one, because the second one's still kind of pricey. The first one's not as expensive, but the second one, that would have been great to have that on here. The second one didn't even come... Oh, man, the second one didn't even come to the 64, so, man, they missed out big time on this. Now, there were also other games. I think Tomba was another one that you could probably drop on here that has decent compatibility. You can really, I think, go through their source code's already outlined. People talked about like the 36 games. You could technically go through that, pick out some games that you like, and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to put this, I'm just going to drop this on here because it says it's already compatible. This was on that list, and I have to say it runs well. Although, what's interesting is Tony Hawk was also on that list, so I don't know why that doesn't run as well. Also, that has insane amounts of licensing and music, so that probably wouldn't be very well for people who would stream it or like make a video for it. There's just so much music that's probably copyright on that. Oh, I hit that again. So, you know, it's a game I would have liked to see here, but I understand. I guess they, honestly, if they had to, they could have muted the music, but that soundtrack was awesome in that game. All right, so we're going to play through a bit more of this because I want to see how it handles, like, even the cutscene at the end. Yeah, the camera's as great as I remember it being, which is now in today's terms not the best. But I guess if you had two analog sticks and you could map the camera turning to that second analog stick, it would have made this a bit more bearable. Use the R button to track enemies above. Yeah, so the R button, like I said, is a lock on in this game. So that'll let us lock onto the guy at the top there, and we'll just keep shooting him as we go. So it kind of locks on, and I'm kind of sitting in place just shooting him at this point. But this is the first level, so it's kind of set up to be... Oh, that's a... Back up. It's set up to be a bit easier, and the game gets a bit harder as you move along. But it gets so cool. This was such a different way to see Mega Man, because think about it. Back then, we knew Mega Man as like a side-scrolling type game, of course, with like X4 and X5 and stuff, and of course the X games on the Super Nintendo. So for it to come out like this, where it was like kind of this RPG game. I mean, it's more of an adventure game, I guess, but it's also kind of similar to like when Mega Man Command Mission came out. The Power Razor, nice, so I can drop that on. When Mega Man Command Mission came out, X Command Mission, that was so different as well. Let me go in and so we'll attach this equip. See, like this would have been just such a big game to have on here. Ugh. Man, it's really annoying that this game was not. It should have been on there. Even the second one. Ugh. Okay, so let's go in here and add that, actually. The Power Razor. Cool. Oh, nope, I missed it. Oh, no, because I had it in the wrong slot. Okay, there we go. We're good. So we have the Power Razor on here, and that'll make it easier to destroy things. Very good. All right, so let's go back here, and we'll keep working around, and we should be actually getting close to the boss of this whole little dungeon thing that I'm going through. And we should be... Okay, good. There we go. Yeah, I'm sure... Okay, so the large blip in front of me, that should be the... There we go. The Reaver bot. We'll take him out. And you guys are going to have to let me know down in the comments what what game you would add to the PlayStation Classic then that's not here, because, to be honest, you might actually be able to add it. So, I don't know, because like I said, Tony Hawk has some weird performance issues, the second one. I didn't try the first one, though, but the second one has some odd performance issues, so that might be something I would like to check out, but yeah, if it has those kind of performance issues, it's hard to make it playable at that point. But this is, we might get to a point, honestly, where a whole different emulator is used for this, for the quad-core A35 that's in here. And if we do, then we get to the point where hackers get really into this as an emulation base, and I could see this actually being a pretty solid foundation. So defeated him, and I know we get to the point where we actually fall off the back of the platform. Let me see. All right, so the visuals for PlayStation games, of course, are not great nowadays, obviously. But this game in particular, I don't know if it's a color palette or what, but it does stick off the screen pretty well. So like it kind of jumps off a bit. So okay, we're outside now, and I think that bot actually comes out, and we have to jump off the edge. But like this is kind of the part I was thinking of, kind of the sprawling part where you might see some errors in the emulation and maybe some artifacting and stuff. Looks fine. Like I said, this game, I have a feeling, was absolutely tested internally, as we found out on their source code. Probably to the point where it was like ready to go. Licensing issues, agreements fell apart, didn't get done in time. That's probably the biggest thing. this product, like I keep saying, it was rushed, but I see this playing as well as it is, and it being something they tested internally on their source code. They had this working, right? This was fine, and it's a shame that it didn't make the cut. All those games that were in there that we saw, man, it's painful that this didn't work. And this is running, by the way, completely off of that USB stick. None of this is on its internal flash memory. So when we get to that point where we can move this to the flash memory inside the flash module, it'll probably run even better. Loading times and stuff that we'll probably see in certain games, like when you load up a game in like Tony Hawk, it has to load. Something like that would probably load faster on the eMMC memory. So there we go. That is the first level, or the opening level, I would say, the tutorial level of Mega Man Legends, and it runs great. So why don't we back out of this, actually, and make sure we got our restore point, and make sure that sets up, because if that sets up and it's completely fine, it hurts. It hurts that this isn't stock on the PlayStation Classic. Something like this probably would have helped sell it pretty well. It shows the PlayStation's lineup being very third-party, right, back in the day, whereas Nintendo had a lot of their first-party stuff that they can pull on for the Nintendo 64 Classic. So let me hit this reset button, actually, and let's see what we get here. Yep, yeah, so I can just say, yeah, let's do that restore point. Bam, there it is. We'll actually go down here, and we'll do a resume point. Yep, right there, and directly in the middle of the cutscene, and I'll skip right past that. So, wow. Let me know what you guys think about this down below. The PlayStation Classic hacking scene is off and running. It's exciting to see because, let's face it, this system is not very good stock, and I'll look forward to what else they do, because we get to the point where other systems are being played on this, similar to a Raspberry Pi, but a closed box system. We'll probably get to the point where different controllers can be used, and it's exciting because it could actually make this, especially for people who already bought one, a worthwhile purchase and a worthwhile system to keep hooked up. But let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, dislike it if not, and I'll see you guys next time.